Hello, hello, hello! This is Tamarina Sims, and today I want to share a new project of mine. There was an idea in my head for a very long time to start a gameplay series. However, I saw this posted HUD on MTS, the new Beginning of Pleasantview, and I thought I want to share my playstyle with you. In this first video, I will give you information about the challenge, my setup so far, the history of Pleasantview that I created, and we will meet the first 3 families. When you download the beginning HUD and start the game, it is a plain HUD terrain of Pleasantview without any lots. The idea behind this is to give you the choice to build Pleasantview up, maybe to the exact same state of the pre-made HUD, or to give it a new custom look. And this is what I did to the HUD so far. My version starts at 1925 in the roaring 20s. Therefore, it wouldn't look the same way like the pre-made HUD. And this is my Pleasantview at 1925. None of the houses are built by me this time, and for time-saving reasons, I used new versions of most of the houses in the park. The links are in the description down below. However, not every pre-made house had made it into my HUD. Some, I imagine, are not built yet, but some are older houses and should already be built. And I made some necessary changes, like the crumble button house is bigger and has a farm in the backyard. I also added a little church. I didn't like the pre-made community lots, they were too bulky for my taste, therefore I found a little shop which complements the HUD better. In my imagination, Pleasantview is founded as a little farmy area which belongs to a bigger city with an old university, stated in the north of California by the sea. Therefore, it has a port where most ancestors are working and a train station nearby. In between we have houses for the working class and where most ancestors are settled in. Originally the place where the station is settled, there was a mansion sitting in the pre-made HUD. This mansion never made sense for me, the style was so different and I never played in it. Therefore, this lot hasn't made it into my version. All the necessary ancestors of the pre-made families are sitting in the family bin. Most of them are newlyweds. 27 families in total. I have already moved in most of them. But not all of them are starting in 1925. Some will move in later on, mostly because they need to marry a Generation 2 sim, or they need to start working on Generation 3. Therefore, the Caliente and Lothario ancestors are not in the HUD for now. That's why their houses weren't built yet. We will meet them when Generation 2 starts adulthood. We start with 15 families and 31 sims, the ancestors of the Goths, the Pleasant and Burbs, the Brokes and the Dreamers. In today's video, we will focus on the Goths, Bachelors and Crumble Bottoms. In video 2, we will meet the Pleasant and Burb ancestors, and video 3 covers the Brokes and Dreamers. Before we start with the families, I want to tell you how I set up the gameplay so far. Some families are originally from Pleasantview or from the US, some are immigrants. Most of them have moved to Pleasantview for the work opportunity at the port. The plain HUD comes with newlyweds, all the same age, no children. Pleasantview is an existing place, with a few houses, therefore nobody should be the exact same age. Therefore I rolled for every family how much older a man is to his wife using a d4, though some men are 1 year or 3 years older. After that I rolled how much older a woman is compared to being 25 years old or having 29 days left as an adult using random.org and rolling numbers between 0 and 3. 0. The woman is 25 years old in 1925. 3. She is 28 in the same year. Therefore, all ancestors are still adults, no elders so far, though they don't age up at the same day. The oldest sim in town is Bruno Ruckburn with 31 years. But still, only newlyweds wouldn't make much sense. Some should have started having a family. So I already played every family according to the rolled numbers like the Ruckburns. I rolled Bruno is 3 years older than his wife Mami and Mami is 28. 3 years onward from 25. Therefore, I played them for 6 days or years. One gameplay day is 1 year in the timeline. And I let things happen with ACR and a risky woohoo chance of 12%. Therefore, we have some families with toddlers and babies, some women are pregnant and some not. To be exact, there are 6 babies born so far, 2 of them are toddlers, the rest are still babies. 2 babies are twins. 6 women are pregnant, among them is one who is expecting baby number 2. That makes a total of 11 pregnancies yet, therefore only 5 households are child-free. I do have to admit that those newlyweds choose to autonomously try for baby and most of them wish for one. However, every family needs to have the right ancestor born with the right gender, otherwise the challenge will be over with generation 2. So far I have 2 ancestors born with the right gender, the other 3 babies are gender swapped. One baby, a twin, is an additional sim. And I haven't decided what to do with it yet. I will wait until every family had the chance to bring life into the world. For the gender swap babies, I gave them a name with the same letter or which sounded similar to the needed name. So everything is still open. It might be that some popular last names won't make it to generation 4 and will be swapped to a different name. Or I will go on and try to get the right ancestor. Like I said, I don't know yet. That was the setup so far. I hope you understand what I did, and if you still have questions, please let me know. I also wanted to show you statistics about the genetics, but I decided this would be too long for this video. But please let me know if this interests you, and I might show it in a video later. A few words about the history of my Pleasantview version. Pleasantview isn't an independent city yet, nor is it a village. It is still unclear if a group of Indian people were the first residents of the place today known as Pleasantview. However, in 1889 the grandfather of Simon Crumblebottom settled down and claimed this pleasant view, like he loved to say. Since then the Crumblebottoms farmed on most of the land, and around their main house they had some sheds and houses built for most of their workers. Simon's uncle, firstborn and heir, did a good job in farming but died unexpectedly from a viral infection. His brother, Simon's father, a priest, took over the land, established a church for the working community, but mismanaged the whole farming area since it never was naturally for him to understand this hard work. Most of the workers had to be dismissed from the farm. Luckily for them, the next bigger town, Moonlight Falls, did build a port and railway station in Pleasantview for better transport of goods and people. So most of them found work there. Pleasantview was then annexed by Moonlight Falls. Proper row houses were built for the working community. However, the Crumblebottoms had to sell some land to keep living in Pleasantview. Enough with the history lecture, we will meet the first family now. We start with the Bachelor family. Milton Bachelor was born in Spain. His mother a Spanish lady. His father was from the US, working at the embassy in Madrid. After his father had left the family to go back to the US while Milton was a child, he wanted to follow his father and find him. He knew the stories of the American dream and wanted to find his luck in his father's country of birth. Originally, he wanted to bring his wife Enriqueta with him. Unfortunately, she wanted to stay in Spain and care for her ill father. So Milton couldn't wait to start his journey. He had saved up some money. His mother's family was quite wealthy, so he took what he needed and traveled across the sea. First, he looked for his father, but wasn't successful and stranded in Moonlight Falls, where the last clues to his father vanished. It didn't make any sense anymore to keep looking. So he changed his mind and looked for an opportunity to settle and start working on his dream. A family named Crumblebottom offered land with a house to sell in a small community named Pleasantview, and since his family was into vine farming, he wanted to establish his own farm. The offer came to the right time, so he spent nearly all of his left money on the house. To make some money till his farm would be established, he took on a job at a local port. His wife Enriqueta kept him updated on her father's illness, and in 1924 he died. Milton sent all his money to her so she could book a safe passage across the sea. but only weeks before her arrival, he was dismissed from his work at the port, and he is worried how he will provide for his wife and his farm, which is still not really profitable. Of course, they have some bonding to do. They haven't seen each other for a few years. And while they are at it, here are some infos about these two. Milton is 27 years old, a mostly unlucky fortune sim who wants to earn 100,000 simoleon. His Spanish wine farm will be his main focus and income source. However, the wine will take time to grow, and after smashing it, it needs to rest until it can be bottled up. So this family will be short in money, and we need to look for a second income source. His skin is medium dark, his eyes are brown, and he has brown hair. Enriqueta is 25 years old. I haven't played her till her arrival. I had her move out to simulate she's still in Spain, while I played Milton for 2 days. As a family sim, she wants to create a 1000 simoleon masterpiece. While she was viewing the art on the wall, we learned that her hobby is arts and crafts. But I don't want her to paint or view art. Maybe her main hobby will be pottery. Of course, Milton tells her what happened to his job and his worries, and though she brought some money with her, it was 750 simoleons, she will take on a job to help with the income. I already signed her up for a nanny job. Her skin is also medium dark and she has brown eyes too. Her hair is black. I let them continue bonding and they can figure out how they want to spend their life together. And we will visit the next family. Samuel Goth comes from an old family in England who isn't into family ties but loves science and art. He is the oldest of 2 sons, and when it was time for Samuel to study after graduating at a very private and elite school, he decided to not study in Cambridge, England, like all his male family members did. His father was very upset and didn't understand his firstborn's wish to study thousands of miles away from the homeland. When Victor, Samuel's brother, talked the father into Samuel's idea and the opportunity to learn abroad, especially in the US, would sharp his brother's mind, and he would come back as a man of the world, the father finally agreed. The University of Moonlight Falls can't be compared to Cambridge at all, but it has a very good science faculty, and more important to Samuel was the fact that nobody would know him and his family. Nobody would expect him to be someone he doesn't want it to be. He would study what he wanted, and he would work to establish a life he imagined. Before he left England, his father gave him a whole bunch of money. He should live comfortably and look at any investment that would help growing the family's wealth. First, Samuel felt uncomfortable with this money and he wanted to be a normal guy, living in a dorm with other students. But soon he realized that investing this money would help him to establish a life in the US. He heard from Pleasantview, an outskirt area of Moonlight Falls, and the family Crumblebottom offering land with an old stone house on it. Once the managing farmer of the Crumblebottom farm used to live there. Samuel reminded this house of his house he lived in England in. Over his last year at college, he let the house being restored and furnished to his old-style taste. Shortly after graduating, he was offered to work at the science faculty as a teacher and researcher, and Samuel was very pleased to take that offer and moving into his own Goth manor. He now was living in Pleasantview for 2 years when a letter arrived. It was from his brother Victor, which announced to make a honeymoon holiday around the US and wanted to stay at his brother's house and introducing his wife Gretel to him. He could guess why his brother might also want to visit him. However, he hadn't seen his brother in years and was looking forward to meet him. In late spring, they arrived.
tuossa hivento. Huomenta asciutti. Jäädä hänä. Kiipaaks niit muka? Nopa uut hashiun liike. Sti kräng mahu higis. Mitä minä on? Feera puhu. Kans mi uudis. Aivan kuin. Häflä muu kyllä.
A few words about the Goths. Samuel, 27, is a knowledge fortune-sim who dreams about creating a masterpiece. His hobby is arts and crafts and he likes to paint in his free time. He is employed in the science career on level 4, science teacher. His skin is light, he has light blue eyes and he's obviously blonde. Victor, currently 25, is the other way around in the aspiration. He is a fortune knowledge sim who currently wants to attend a 20 vacations. This wish might change later, for now we are going with it. He studied economics in Cambridge and will probably establish a business soon. Like his brother, his skin is light and hair is blonde, but he has brown eyes. Gretel is a 23-year-old family knowledge sim who wants to visit the whole world like her husband. She studied history but wants to support Victor in his dreams to build a life in Pleasantview. She has light skin, dark blue eyes and her hair is black. Simon Crumblebottom took over the house and farm from his deceased father a few years ago. Last year the Crumblebottoms experienced some missed harvests and Simon himself, like his father, isn't good in managing the fruit tree farm. Simon is a priest and loves to take care of the little community. However, right now he considers to sell even more of his family's land, like he had to do not long ago. Right now he only has 2 farm workers left, Dalmar Dreamer and Seth Darong, and if he can't pay them anymore, he has to dismiss them, what feels so wrong to him, because he likes the 2 hard-working loyal men. Both have to provide for their families as well. Seth's wife Lena is also working in the Crumblebottom household. She is the maid and cook and does the household work his wife would never do. Prudence is a good fit for a priest wife. She comes from a very faithful upper-class family in Moonlight Falls and studied biology. Right after her graduation they got married and in winter 1923 their son Albert was born. Though Simon carries a lot of worries with him among the worries, he listens to at his work at the church from the locals. What will he do to provide a stable income for his family? Simon is a knowledge fortune sim who ever dreamed of becoming a sports star, but followed his father's advice to become a priest and studied philosophy. Therefore he owns the church. His wish might not come true, though he likes to play football. His skin is light, his eyes brown and his hair black. Prudence is a knowledge sim who would like to know everything in the world and can't stop learning skills. When she isn't studying, she likes to read books. Her skin is medium, her eyes grey and her hair black. Albert, a gender-swapped descendant, has his mother's skin medium and his father's eyes brown. The hair will be black like both parents.
Sun tuossa taas mun huomenna shuutti. Nala di. Jajino. Nopa wood hashi unliike.
These were the first few ancestors of the Goth family and Pleasantview, and I hope you liked this video. Next time we will still be in 1925 and visit the Pleasant and Burp ancestors. This video will cover 6 more Generation 1 families, so this will take some time to film. But I still hope I can provide this video very soon. A big thank you to the creators on MTS for this interesting new view on Pleasantview's history. And also a thank you to all those amazing CC creators that made this hood possible to look more interesting and beautiful. I see you in the next video. Bye then.